Lobach's assault was just one in a number of attacks that put employees on injured leave. Union steward Doug Curtis told me 10% of youth counselors can't work because of it being injured from attacks by an inmate or from subduing an attack. But prison administrators say Lincoln Hills is safe. Staff at Lincoln Hills say they've had enough and are hoping something will soon change.
Right now, I fear for my life ever going back to my job.
July 1st, 2017 is a date that Cal Teske will never be able to forget.
They got in my face. They told me to get out of their way. They're going to take me down.
Teske was supervising lunchtime for one of the units at Lincoln Hills. He noticed one of the inmates working in the kitchen was offering better food to his friends. Teske told the inmate to take his food and have a seat.
So he walked out of the kitchen, turned around, glared at me with his fists.
And what happened next seems to be an all too common occurrence at the youth prison.
As soon as I turned my head and pressed my body alarm, he came over the top of me with both of his fists on top of my head.
Can I take a picture with the dog? Sure.
3.5 months later, youth counselor Stacey Daigle experienced something similar. Daigle was overseeing a new incentive program to get some of the most dangerous inmates back on track. One inmate decided he would rather be in restrictive housing, which includes some solitary confinement, than taking part in the program.
And he said, I'm either going back to Krieger, which is the restrictive housing unit, for you, and he pointed to my partner, and he said, or for you. And then he just hauled off with a closed fist and punched me in the side of the head.
Teske and Daigle say after their assaults, the inmates were only punished by being sent to a restrictive housing unit. After a federal judge's ruling this summer, inmates can only be kept in restrictive housing for a maximum of 7 days before they return to the general population.
I have no doubt that he'll do it again because there's no consequences for them anymore.
The legal ruling, called the ACLU injunction, ordered the staff to reduce the use of pepper spray and handcuffs, something the inmates realized they could exploit very quickly.
They know about the injunction and they are using it against us.
Many staff I spoke with cite the ACLU injunction as adding to the dangerous environment at Lincoln Hills. But they all cited the same thing as a catalyst.
In my opinion, Act 10.
The brakes came off when Act 10 was enacted.
The Walker administration came in, they came up with Act 10, they took our union rights away, and next thing you know, everything started going downhill since then.
Act 10 was introduced in 2011. It took away collective bargaining rights and other benefits for unionized public employees like the ones at Lincoln Hills. That meant that staff had less ability to negotiate for certain working conditions. Staff here at Lincoln Hills regularly work 16-hour shifts.
Employees say problems have been building since the implementation of Act 10. But combined with the ACLU injunction this July, well,
It's a perfect storm.
Doug Curtis retired a year ago after working for 20 years at Lincoln Hills. The dangerous environment was a major reason he left when he did. He still represents the prison's union workers and worries about them.
It's only a matter of time before someone gets killed up there.
The Department of Corrections has taken steps to try to ensure the safety and security of its employees. The secretary of the DOC met with the staff last month to hear their concerns and come up with some solutions.
The ultimate goal is always to never have a staff member injured. Never have staff feel unsecure.
2 weeks later, Litcher and the DOC called for a lockdown of the facility. Staff from Lincoln Hills and other adult prisons spent 2 days searching each room for contraband.
Hopefully both staff and youth feel much more safe after this is done, and we'll use this as a stepping stone moving forward.
Both Litcher and Interim Superintendent John Paquin said they feel that Lincoln Hills is a safe place, something that many staff members vehemently disagree with, even after the recent efforts of the DOC.
I don't care what the secretary says, this place, Lincoln Hills School, is a very dangerous place to work at this time.
Stacey Daigle says she will return to work. It's a job she says she was born to do. She likes to maintain order, work with kids, and develop new programs. But first and foremost, she wants to see control return to Lincoln Hills. Staff say better training, shorter work shifts, and more power to discipline inmates could help. Others have different ideas of what returning control means, and for one Milwaukee lawmaker, that means closing the facility entirely.